There we are. Do you feel it?
Are we in?
That's what Dave always says. Dave Williams over here, he always says, do you feel it? Do you feel it? And typically when you ask, I am feeling it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see if I could get in there. I know I've started off the day tough. For the listeners, as we dive in, I got to pull up some energy here. So we got Coffee Buzz Friday.
Coffee Buzz Friday.
Coffee Buzz Friday today is sponsored to you by Starbucks. Everyone raise your glasses. If you're out there with a Starbucks cup of joe, we went with the Venti Pike. Is this the Venti? Venti Pike. We went the Venti Pike today for Coffee Buzz Friday. This will be round 2 of Coffee Buzz Friday. This time we're adding a different dynamic. We have 3 people involved. Nolan, who will say hello here in a second. He's going to decide if we want to go 5 minutes or 6 minutes with 2 minutes apiece. But we kind of touched on, we'll just stay at 5.
I'm good either way.
Stay at 5 minutes. Just like last time, Nolan asked the questions. We have 5 minutes to go. After 5 minutes, the clock is up. Conversation over. Okay, before we get into this, I got to say we got a big dog here with us to the right of me. I think to the camera it would be to the left of them, of the left of the camera. Okay, we got Nate Orf. Nate, just say hello real quick.
Hello, everyone.
There you go. So that'll be his contribution to the 5 Coffee Buzz Friday. You just keep your head nodding there when I talk, and then the opposite direction when Dave talks. Does that sound good?
Yeah, Harv's clearly scared, boys. He's, he felt maybe a little double teamed on the way over here, backed into a corner a bit. So
absolutely. I was getting pegged by you two on the way here. These guys, it was kind of weird. Cornered me out of the conversation for the last 3 hours.
Yep. So he hasn't been able to talk in 3 hours.
Yeah.
And so we all know how Harv likes to talk.
Absolutely.
So he's coming in hot on a vengeance on this Coffee Buzz Friday.
So when I start talking, I would grab a notebook and a pen because
it's about to go down. Today's the day.
So today's the day. All right, let's have some fun with it. Let's see what happens. Let's see where we go. Nolan, you got the questions ready?
We have the first question ready if you guys are good to go.
And Nolan's mic is working this week. That's
Nolan's mic works.
1 for 2. It's all right.
We're doing 5 minutes.
So you have 5 minutes. So we have 5 minutes we have to dissect the question into how we internalize the answer.
Yep. We got to find the right answer in 5 minutes.
Perfect.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, we got this, Harv.
Coffee. Yeah,
listen up, kid.
Yeah, let's do this, guys. Hey.
Are we going to be able to see the timer again or no?
I haven't decided yet.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
All right, here we go.
Come on.
Coffee and then fist bumps. Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, we're 2 minutes. We're going to start in 3 minutes. I can kind of watch this as a cheating code, but we can go when you're ready.
Let's do it. First topic.
Okay, first topic. Which has more power, love or fear?
Oh, man.
This is an unbelievable topic for the 3 of us. So the dynamic is a hard concept because for the last 2 days, and you got to talk a little quicker here, Orphy talked a lot about fear and how that has driven him to accomplish many of his goals. Whereas Dave on the other side, so you're going to see what I do here in a second and just segue out to the 2 of you. Dave here thinks and believes that everything that we are after, underlying of all of that is love. So all you ultimately chase is love, whereas Orf over here uses fear because fear is his greatest attribute to success. Best of luck, guys. You have a minute and you have 4 minutes.
I see what you did there. He's trying to divide us right away. Go ahead, Orf.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for me to start it because I think for me, fear has been something that is easily accessible. It's a way to go for energy. It drives me, my first full season in the minor leagues was the first time I ever had a full season playing infield. I'm a new infielder. I think I had 5 errors the whole year, which is pretty incredible because I was not that good of an infielder, but it was a constant reminder to myself that I'm not that good, that I have to be on my absolute A game every pitch. And it was this absurd focus like that of fear of making an error. I feared errors more than anything. And so at the end of the year, I had 5 errors. Probably the best year I ever had was the second year. I've been playing infield for 1.5 years, which to me says a lot about what fear can do to the mind and where the place it can get you. And I still use, we were just talking about, I use fear all the time. So I think short term, quick fix, fear is a very good option. But, go ahead with your piece because yours is, I think, the long term.
1-0 Orf. Go ahead.
Well, I love it because that's so complimentary. What we're saying is like, yeah, I believe in the short term, absolutely. And like you said, it's very easily acceptable, right? It's very easy for me to get in a fear state, which sort of makes my heart rate go faster, gives me adrenaline, gives me cortisol, makes me feel alive, right? Because I get a little bit terrified. This is why we watch scary movies and, do all that stuff, is to get freaked out a little bit. And then that causes me to move. And so it raises my activation level, and then that I feel alive. So it's very there, right? Fear is like a very great drug, right? Right away. It gives you that little boost. And I love how you kicked it to me. It's like, yeah, but in the long term, I think the only way you can sustain a long-term journey or sustain this life long-term is to have access to love. And I think that's what we're kind of all after, right? We're absolutely motivated to get out of fear, right? That's why we go there. And then we're motivated to get out of there. But then, so that's avoiding the fear, right? So that's a great way to jumpstart in the short term. But then once we avoided fear for a long time, then what do we do? Right? And then I think it's our journey to go achieve love and go get that love and connection. And that's what sustains us long term, and that's sort of what we go towards. So it's complementary. Yeah, it's a juice to get out of the fear, and then a juice to go towards the love. And so put what you're afraid of behind you, put what you love in front of you, and you're optimally motivated.
Mm-hmm. So what's more sustainable?
Sustainable and long term?
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I'd agree too.
Yeah.
I agree
But
too.
I'm here today, boys. I'm here for the now.
Yeah. No,
Smart choice. Agreeing with both of us, Harvey.
absolutely. Absolutely. How are we doing on time? I thought that was a great answer. So we got a minute and 20.
Yeah.
So I just think of it as now with the last minute to try to dissect this even deeper. Do you have to find ways where fear is involved in your life? Do you have to find ways where you put yourself where fear is used and then use it as an advantage?
So why would we need to do that?
Well, that would be essentially be challenge, right? Which you ultimately fear challenge to begin with. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think the natural instinct is for sure. Like, everyone likes the easy way. The natural instinct is the easy way, but that's not the way to fulfillment. That's not the.
Because what is the way to fulfillment?
What do you got?
Love.
Yeah,
Love would be the way to fulfillment. But I would say fear drives you into figuring out a deeper sense of love.
Right. Yeah. Well, and why overcome your fear?
Confidence.
Yeah, confidence. So you grow, right?
Yeah.
You grow, you get more confident. So then what are you able to give more?
More love.
Yeah, to give more love, right? That's what we call a leader, right?
Is it 5?
Yeah.
Oh, next question. Just ask away. Yeah. Sorry. That was a good one.
No, that was good. That was good.
That was good.
All right.
All right.
Don't yell, Nolan. We got you.
Yeah.
Sorry. What determines what dreams a person has when he or she sleeps?
Oh
my
gosh, darn
goodness. Okay, so I'll start this one off because this is kind of what I talked to Nolan about earlier. Is like when we have a vivid dream, right? When we have a really rock solid dream, I don't think it's like random. I don't think it's like random things that your mind is just trying to formulate and throw at you. I think your subconscious brain is trying to send you a message, right? I think obviously your subconscious brain has been paying attention to everything that you've done in your life. It's picking up information right now that we're not aware of, right?
Sure.
So it's picking up your body language, your heart rate, all that good stuff, right? That scared me.
Yeah, go ahead.
So your subconscious brain knows way more about you than you do, right? And so I think when your subconscious brain sort of wants to send you a message or kind of correct your course a little bit or get something to your attention in maybe a way that you're behaving or thinking that is suboptimal, right? Or that you don't have a need or that you're not fulfilling a need, I think the dream is a way, one way that it does that. And so then you have a vivid dream that's really weird and that's really, but it's there for a purpose.
Yeah.
And then so the question you need to ask yourself, I believe, is what is my subconscious brain trying to tell me right now? And then you just kind of dig deeper to try to uncover it.
So the most people, and there's a lot of scenarios on this, I love where you're going with that, but my question on that is, you come out of a dream and you're emotional, which is right away in the morning, you think right away off just the subconscious, which your brain is trying to tell you something, and you make an emotional reaction that is a bad decision, where let's say you're thinking about somebody in the dream and you react to that emotion and you reach out to them. Is that a wrong or a right? Or because your brain was trying to bring that up. The brain was uncovering memories, and now you feel the memory. Let's say it was a bad relationship. You're in a bad relationship with somebody, and your subconscious runs you back into a positive memory of it. You wake up, you feel emotionally connected to that still. You want it back, and then you reach out to that person, and it's a terrible decision.
Is that considered a nightmare?
Well, in the dream, it was positive.
Right, but like you wake up the next day, are you like, man, I had nightmares last night? Like, is that how people describe nightmares?
That would be a description in my mind. Now you all of a sudden you describe it and you reverse it on its head. I want to think. What do you think about that?
Well, that first of all, that's very difficult because that's a hypothetical dream and a hypothetical person. And like when you ask, well, what is your subconscious brain trying to tell you? I think it's the search within that uncovers what you should do. Right, so then like it would take more questioning and more understanding of like so it'd be more helpful if you had like an actual dream, but
it's a trigger.
It's a way to get your attention to be like, whoa, slow down, because I might be doing something emotional, I might be doing something that's going to get me in trouble, I might be doing something out of character, or I've ran this pattern in the past and my subconscious brain is just trying to get my attention so I can steer and make the correction.
Right, because that's why habit changing and conscious decisions is so difficult, because you are wired to live subconsciously. So dreams would have to, and there's got to be a sleep expert, and we can try to figure this out from someone who can give us a deeper answer. Yeah. But the subconscious is more wired. When you're sleeping, you only have memories. Like you only have memories to go off of in a dream. Is how I would predict it. Like most people who wake up in the morning are already in the past. So like you get people who are in bad moods all the time. Like they wake up in the morning, they're already in the past. So they've already started through the past, which is the subconscious. Which is why like the mornings is so crucial, because you get up in the morning, you got to make a conscious decision. You got to rewire it. You got to get into this new day. You got to get into the present, and you got to start predicting the next steps of your future in that day. Where if you're not careful, that's why people hit snooze for years on years on years. They just done it. So when I wake up right away, I just past memory is hit snooze. So I'd hit it again, go back to sleep. Past memory, hit snooze, hit it again, go back to sleep. Same thing on dreams is what I would predict, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to agree with that. I shouldn't have said right like I'm right. That's just what I think.
No, I think dreams are for sure like a view into your subconscious, like you're saying. And because I know people that have had, traumatic experience, nightmares for a long time. Or like initially, I think the nightmares are more intense probably. But then, throughout years later, still have nightmares of that event. So, which just makes me think, like you said, does that mean is our subconscious letting us know that there's something that we need to like peel back? Like just saying like, because people might see it as it's traumatizing me, I can't move on. But is that subconscious saying, hey, we have an issue here, we need to really peel it back and get in there? And to be used in like a positive way to make us better.
Yeah, I love that. It's like a call for healing or a call for attention.
The natural way. Yeah. No counselor. The brain, the mind's natural. Yeah.
Great work. Question 3.
Good
really
job,
like
guys.
that one. We might take that one deeper on our own later.
That's good. We definitely need to get a sleep guy in here to talk about dreams.
Yeah, we do.
All right, so next one. Is suffering a necessary part of the human condition? And what would people who never suffered be like?
Well, you look at me there, Orf.
Because I love that question.
Can we repeat that real quick before we press play?
Yeah. Is suffering a necessary part of the human condition? And what would people who never suffer be like?
They'd be like those people that drive around on their carts on Wall-E.
Wall-E?
You've seen the
Haven't
movie
seen
Wall-E?
that one.
Oh, you guys don't have kids,
You
do
have,
you?
No.
That's a kid's
Not a
movie,
father.
Yeah. So what are the people that drive around in Wall-E like?
So they have these chairs that they sit in that kind of just move them all over the place, right, for comfort. And then they get their food just sort of delivered to them, and so they get really fat and really just kind of, and then like their bones don't grow, like there's no stress, so there's no strength, and they just kind of, and they can't function.
Well, I think it goes like all the way to like, I wish, the world was perfect, like what if everyone was, and to me, this is like a deep question that can be talked about later maybe, but the thought that what if everyone looked the same, like how boring that would be. If everyone had the same, success or money, or so you never had to encounter the difficult times and all of that is basically, to me, the way I see that is, everyone's like we all have it all together. Everyone, like how like terribly boring and unfulfilling and unexciting would that world be? It would just, to me, it sounds just terrible.
Now, to get to the top of any field, you have to suffer, right? You would agree, right? You would agree in terms of getting to mastery,
except for the maybe top 1% of the 1%. Yeah.
So my thing is, like, if somebody is a brain surgeon, like if a dad's a brain surgeon and he births 3 kids, they might be able to, they're born into money, right? They're born into a different life. Let's just build it up. Best brain surgeon ever, lives on a lake, beautiful multi-million-dollar home. These people go to all these beautiful places. The kids have nothing to worry about for life. But those 3 kids can't just be a brain surgeon. Like, they get to have that ability of like maybe something else lucky compared to somebody else. But the guy who became the brain surgeon suffered for a long time to master this craft, to have this fulfillment to give back to these people, and then to serve the people that he's doing surgery on, is how I interpret that. Now, your job is the money, the house, the lake never matters as the children. Your job now is to navigate through what you want to do, what you want to execute, and then you have to suffer to that top of mastery. You have to suffer to that top of the hierarchy. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like anybody who's awesome at their craft or amazing at their craft, they have suffered to a certain extent to get to that, which is essentially human performance. Whereas now you have fulfillment because you have this ability to serve or give back things that you suffered through. That's how I took it.
Yeah, and it's overcoming that suffering.
Yeah.
And I think this world, the human condition, it is suffering.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pain out there. We walk outside, it's 7 degrees out there.
Yeah, let's go get it.
That's not pleasant.
No.
There's other places to live, but then there it's hot, right? Like there it's, and everybody that we ever meet or ever know is going to die. Right. This isn't a place that we go to sustain ourselves. Like, this place is suffering. So then what do we do with that? We have to overcome that. We have to grow. We have to become brain surgeons. So then hopefully we reduce the suffering enough to just continue to grow. But even look at all the luxuries that we have nowadays, right? Like all these things, like the house, the heat, the technology is all in an effort to reduce suffering.
Yeah.
Right. But then at some point in time, it becomes too much where we don't grow. We're kind of miserable. We're kind of cranky, and we don't know why. But then, man, we get in the gym, or we accomplish a hard goal.
You move, you struggle.
Right, we struggle, we accomplish a very difficult goal, and then we feel great about it. So I think we're just wired to naturally overcome suffering.
The chemistry of our body is meant for suffering. It's meant for persistent growth in all that, in health, sleep, air, movement, water, food, all that stuff that we talked about. And the body needs that. Like, it's just something that triggers you to have to go out there and embrace struggle. Like, you need to have that a part of you. I think that that's BS when people think agreeing with you. I just think it's BS when people find, like, they think comfort is the answer. Like last night we were taking Orphy through like hot saunas and then freezing cold tubs in the middle of winter in Minnesota. And like, I believe there's a lot of health benefits in that. But I do believe that like suffering strengthens you. And like, that's getting out of the 68, 72 degree temperature that all of us go through.
And I love how you put that, is like, is the putting yourself into suffering and growing is reducing the suffering. Right. So there's 2 strategies. It's either make everything comfortable or become stronger. That reduces suffering.
100%. Now, because I run the show, I always have, I get to go to Orf and say, you kind of got skipped over there a lot, Matt. I apologize. But what do you have on that?
No, you guys, I agree with everything you guys were saying. And like you said last night, they said the water's like 32 degrees, like huge chunks of ice in there. And it's one of those things, you never feel more alive than when you mentally say, you know what, I'm doing this and I'm going to sit in there as long as I can. And I'm going to see what my mind is capable of doing with this cold water and how long I can tell my body that I'm warm. and like in that, and I stayed in there pretty
long
time last night. And so for me to come out of that, because I think it's human nature, before I get in, I have that initial thought of fear. What if I can't really stay in there as long as these guys? What if I'm cold and shaking like 3 seconds after I get in there? So there's that initial like instinctual fear, and then you get in, and it's like that, here we go. And you get in, and then like straight to the breathing and for a long time, and you get out, and that's like, that's like the best you feel or even have felt in a while.
It's nuts.
Is that moment.
I love it. So you need the suffering because it makes you feel alive.
Yeah.
Cheers to that, boys.
So good.
Sip your glass. Let's go to the next one.
Ching, ching, ching.
Great answer.
God,
Sorry, Nolan. I
was
apologize on that. I just, I knew
Marty's
the big dog.
fast and loose on the rules this week.
But I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. It's holiday season.
I told you he's just acting out.
All right,
Tough drive here.
I want them to have blurry faces in the video.
And you're blurred.
And you're blurred.
You guys will like this one. Is it possible to prove that other people besides yourself have consciousness?
Oh, say that again.
Is it possible to prove that other people besides yourself have consciousness?
Like that it exists? Or that they are like,
Or
not conscious.
How do I know?
Currently conscious.
How do I know you guys aren't like robots, like from Westworld?
Oh, we talked about this. Like, how do I know that you guys are real?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
Or that I'm. Yeah.
If
That
they
I'm,
think the same way you think or stuff like that.
So
I
I
was
can
talking to Harv the other day, and he cut me off because he had a story to tell.
No, I was going to
can't see
coach.
him
Did you
doing
start
that,
the clock? Did you start the clock? Because if Orf's going to act like that, I want this at a 5-minute deadline. You know what? Maybe we lose a minute because we let him have the
Kid, I'm in
leeway
Minnesota,
last-
bud. I'll drop the gloves anytime you want, all right? But I'm
Oh,
filling
you're already
in for
on the
old
clock. You're already on
Davey
the clock.
Fisher right now, okay?
Yeah. Shout out to Dave Fisher. Orf's got your headphones on. He's been admiring your spirit for the last couple of years. So I can't wait to get you guys in the same room.
Good guy.
Okay, so consciousness. We talked about are people robots? Do you want to share the story of the storytelling real quick of with me cutting you off?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Harv's this great guy and stuff, but, here he is having a conversation, and he starts, telling the story, and I have my input, and with Harv it always goes deep. So here I am all fired up to tell, my side of things and start talking, and he just cuts you right off. And, and that's when you realize that, a guy like Harv, you think he's locked in and living in that conscious state at that moment, but really he's, somewhere far off.
Getting a kick out of that, Noah. So what if I do believe that everyone else is robots and I had gotten my word out and now all of a sudden I got what I needed? I didn't need your input.
Then if you can look inside yourself, Harv, and say that I really feel I have what I need, then, maybe you're onto something, but I don't think that that's possible.
that was electric.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for bashing me
Felt
publicly
electric.
for the last minute and a half. That's great. That did happen. And later that night, the part that Orf left out, if I can bring myself back to good gracious, is later that night we talked about that, if you remember that. A deep apology took place. We talked about how I appreciated your friendship for your accountability.
Pretty self-aware guy over here.
From your accountability to tell me that story later on in the night. I said, I didn't like this. We talked about it. We got over it. And that's why we've been great teammates since 2010.
Yeah.
Love having you
Championships, all the above.
here. Yeah.
So okay, good. So the question is then, right? So Harv, why did you recognize that apology was needed?
Well, for one, I remembered it. In the moment, I was just kind of word vomiting.
Right.
And then later on, when the chaos of the day slowed down, and I was back with him, and we weren't in this chaotic, loud music, bunch of people atmosphere. You start reflecting on the day, and I went, oh man, and we started having a conversation, and I was listening to him later in the day, and then I started realizing, well, earlier I was not listening to this guy.
Well, we were talking about the quality listening, actually.
And how
that was our
important that is.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when it came back to you, which says a lot about being around the right people and just being in that honest conversation and conscious and people listening in a conversation about listening, and then it takes you back, and then that moment made you better, which says so much about being around people that are on the same page and to help mold you.
Yeah. So I think that, that's awesome. I think that, because we did a priming meditation this morning, and David asked me, what did you feel? So I do think I think that all of us are an energy. So we're like a ball of energy. We're just these spirits. Like this is your soul. So like, I don't know if that's what you exactly look like, but like that's your soul, right? So like Nolan, that's what he looks like. Or if that's what he looks like, that's your soul. And then the vibrancy that people give to you ultimately is how your soul is shifted. So like anything that's negative or anyone who's bad to you, ultimately, like if you can see through that and go like, no, this is just part of the development of my spirit. Like this is the development of my consciousness. This is a development of my energy, so that when somebody else comes into my life later on, I can give that to them. And then take it back to the meditation, then I'll hand it over. But this morning, the meditation part that was coolest for me was I was around people from all over the country who were in Minnesota together. We're laying there meditating, and we're having a blast listening to music, priming ourselves, fueling ourselves up with love. And all I could think about was all these people around me have bet on themselves. And like, no matter what, how I feel confident, not confident, that specific moment, these people, their energy is filling into mine. So like they're pulling me with them, and sometimes I have to pull them with me. Either way, it's just as a balance. So that's how I felt of the consciousness.
Yeah, and the reason why I asked you, like, why the need to apologize is because maybe we don't know if maybe I don't know that you guys are conscious or not.
Yeah.
Okay, but I know that you guys act differently if I treat you like you are conscious. Right? Because when you started treating him like, oh, well, you're just here to, you're just here for me and I'm not going to listen to you, right? Then like that made him mad, right? That ruined sort of that connection. And so you recognize that, oh, now I need to apologize. Now I need to get us back to, well, I think you're important. I need to have great listening. I need to look you in the eye. I need to treat you like an important conscious thing separate from me, something that's not just here to give my needs. And then that changed the relationship, right? So maybe how we know that you guys are conscious is because you get pissed off when I treat you like you're not conscious.
You're probably a good husband, huh?
I try to be. Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
that's probably why we're single.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Art.
Smart guys.
We'll work on
figure
it.
something out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that one. Did we do all right on that one, Noel?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Nolan's not impressed.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, we can
We'll
figure
get
it
there.
out.
We'll get that 5 minutes one of these times.
Well, Nolan's not impressed, but I guess he doesn't get a mic next time.
All right, we got one more. We got one more on us.
All right. Last
Possibly
question.
two. Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Possibly last question. If all your memories were erased, what kind of person would you be?
Love that question. Love that question.
And go.
Okay,
It's a
so
hard question to answer about yourself.
very difficult.
Go ahead.
So then we would have to get into also like, so are my instincts also memories?
Yeah, I don't know where to go with that one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, is my, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like we've evolved for millions and millions of years,
Right.
and so like, how much of how much of my like wiring and my instinct of like, getting up and wanting to eat and wanting to, wanting to connect, wanting to overcome suffering.
Yeah.
How much of that wiring, was once like a memory that was just ingrained at a deeper level. So then how far does that go back? Like if I lost all my memories, would I just turn into somebody else and develop a different personality, or would I just be totally jelly?
So,
Does that make sense?
yeah, it does. I'm gonna take a rip at this.
Good.
Okay.
Because that, yeah.
So when you're
That
young, your subconscious, your first 8 years of your life or so, you're starting to get wired to your environment. So you're not learning language, you're not solving problems necessarily, you're not doing all these epic things that you do through the evolution of your life, but your environment is shifting your subconscious.
For sure.
Right? So like if you play a lot, or you're with people, or you're laughing and doing all this stuff, or you're playing sports, you're thinking, you're having family dinner, like you're wiring your future life to how that imprint of your subconscious sees joy, right? So like hug your kids, give them a kiss, whatever, and then challenge them, put these things in front of them. So you have that, right? And then you go out into the world of experience, and you're going to face suffering, you're going to face heartbreak, you're going to face triumph, you're going to have accomplishments, you're going to have people come in and out of your life. You're going to think of people who you were best friends with 15 years ago and you don't talk to anymore, but deep down you're still best friends with that person.
Right.
Like life took its course and they went that way, you went this way, but you're best friends with that person, right? So it goes back to the consciousness of how you're just like moving through this evolution of your journey. And now, if you know the deepest truths of yourself, you know who you are right now in this moment. You know what makes you happy. You know what makes you sad. You know what makes you excited. You know what type of energy you need to be filled up. So erase all the past, because past is now false time. A memory is just a perception at this point. Like, you can't, like, whatever you had for breakfast this morning is over. Like, that's gone. That's time in life is over. So I always look at it as, you're just running through this journey, and as you're going through it, you're either leveling up through all of the experiences of the past, or you are unconscious, unaware, and you're just this blob that has no like present mind fulfillment.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Have you read the book The Power of Habit?
I have not.
Okay. So anyways, they give an example of this guy who they researched, and he had lost all his memories, right? He had like amnesia. Okay, but he would still get up in the morning and like go through his routine, right? He would still like get up, go to the cupboard, eat breakfast, sit down and watch TV. But then you follow up with him like 30 minutes later. You'd be like, hey, what'd you eat for breakfast? He's like, oh, I haven't had breakfast. And then he'll go up and get it.
Yeah.
You know, and then like he would he would go on a walk around his neighborhood, and then he would get back and you'd ask him, hey, where'd you go? He'd be like, I don't know. Like, he couldn't tell you the route that he walked, but he always found his way back home. Right, so that habit that used to be a memory, but he lost his memories, was now like wired in him. So is that wiring, that habit, was that a memory, or is a memory something I guess a little less stable than like a habit or your wiring?
I think the memory is where you are right now is how you have learned and grown from your memories. So like that's why it's so important to lead young people. Like, when influence is so important on young people. Because they're ultimately, when they're 40, like, you don't remember 40 years before that, but like you as a 40-year-old are the result of all the different algorithms you put in your brain for 40 years.
And the explanatory style that we talked about on previous podcast, Orf, what do you got on that?
I was just gonna take it almost a different way, and
sure,
and
good.
I think it's like I think it's almost would be a beautiful way to live if you attacked every day as if you didn't have, you know, the memories and the past telling you how to live that day, especially falling into ruts or maybe routines or thought processes that aren't productive and things like that. So just you guys having that conversation, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what if every day you woke up and like full blank slate, no memory, and said, all right, like, even what am I doing today? You know, what do I have to do today?
Yeah.
And then how am I going to do it? Figure it out. And what if you attacked every day in that manner of just simplicity, almost like, here's what I need to do today, and I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to enjoy it. And how would you love people differently? And how would your conversation be with people, you know, without having the past memories?
Because you're in the moment. You're describing being in the present moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, detached to all that. I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So we have come to conclusion. Do we agree that detachment from memories?
Oh,
Ooh.
is that a emotional?
I think
detachment.
I think it's having the freedom to detach or
Or
attach
decide.
to which ones you want, right?
Right.
Which ones that are helpful for you.
Yeah, because that's awareness, right? You
Yeah.
can take your mind to memories that you had. Like, everyone here could think about the last family gathering vacation they had, or some moment where they could close their eyes, visualize that moment, take their awareness to that place, and be happy.
Yeah.
So you do need that.
It's the freedom, I think, to attach or detach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool thing is we could be completely wrong.
And we probably are. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone got anything else? Nolan? You got any feedback? Give us your breakdown. Give us your scouting report. How did the boys do?
What do you got? Where did we miss? What did we miss?
Great job, guys. Great job.
That's a lie.
Great job.
I don't know him that well,
Great
but
job.
Yeah.
No, he's being honest.
Yeah.
I do
Being
know him
honest.
well. I do know him well.
I was sitting there. I have no smart aleck remark. I just a good job.
Well,
you have nothing to say to Harvey.
I got a lot to say to Harvey, but not on the microphone.
Let's go. We're still recording. Let it rip, kid.
That's good, man. That's good. It's good having you here, Orf. Seriously, you're bringing a lot of morale to me. You know, everyone's jumping on my bandwagon. They've been great
really
support
love you, man.
system.
It takes a big leaguer to do that around here.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go. I always tell people Nate Orf made it to the show. We were both free agents with the Milwaukee Brewers in 2013. He might have made it to the show, but I was the first person called up from short season to full season. So I waved at Orf as he dropped me off at the airport, and I said, "See you later, buddy."
Yeah. And then you watched him just fly right over you.
Then he got the last laugh. So now I've had to publicly act like I'm happy for him and do all these other things.
That's been an interesting
I love
day.
You, buddy. I love you. Yeah. It should be. It'll be a lot. It'll be a lot more interesting as well. I think the large Vientes or whatever they are, Ventis, the large Ventis.
It's not Spanish.
Yeah, they were good for us. They got it. The boys rolling, got the coffee buzz flowing as well. Hope you guys enjoyed Coffee Buzz Friday. This is enjoyable. This is arguably some of my favorite podcasting type style to do. So thank you, Orf, for being a part of this and jumping on board with us. I know we got a few more days with the big dog, and we got some more conversation. We got to get out of there, but look forward to this guy as you guys are starting to get to know and you know Davey. Dave Williams is a hugely insightful, intellectual dude. Brings the love, brings the noise. You just go home at night, and he's the type of guy you go, keep that guy around. He's not too bad. All right. So Davey's great to have with us, and then Orf, unbelievable dude, made the trip up here from St. Louis, hanging out with the fellows. We're taking them through the whole MindStrong experience this week: cold tub, hot tub, breathing, priming, meditation, training, working out, podcasting, and dinners. We love our dinners.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
I mean, I've known Davey here for 3 hours now, and we've peeled back like 12 layers of life.
It's unbelievable.
And dissected, and not only dissected, but processed and came up with future ways to attack life. And that's part of the reason I came up here was just to see how I can expand my thought process and all that. And I mean, it's already been incredible. So thanks for having me up and looking for some more time with the boys here.
That's what MindStrong's all about.
That's it.
MindStrong, hey, people, MindStrong's onto something here, kids.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
You listen up now.
Say that one more time.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Love it.
MindStrong project.
Yeah, Dave came from the Cleveland Indians and said we were the Barstool Sports of human performance. So that was pretty cool to hear. Appreciate that. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. We'll find out in time.
They're doing good.
Yeah, they are doing well. Okay, well, hey, everyone have a great day. Keep drinking your coffees or your tea or your water. Make sure it's a lot of more water than anything else. Keep hydrating, sleep well, and breathe it out. We'll see you later. Cheers.
Cheers.